How did you kind of spend your 48 hours or so off?
We had an off time. Little relaxation, getting to go to a kids sporting events. Mac had flag football. Maya had her softball games, so I got to go watch those. But doing stuff around the house, and I can act like that's all I did was stuff at home, but there's no doubt just going through video and studying, prepping for the next couple weeks. We got a meeting here in a half hour with the guys in the classroom, and we're going to go over just some talking points. What have we been doing well? Where do we need to get better? How we're going to implement that this next week plus of practice, and what this weekend's going to look like. So, just getting ahead of things. I'm not big on downtime, so I just kept going.
I don't know how much work they've done, but have you seen after those 2 days they feel rejuvenated? Do you feel like it helps?
Yeah, yesterday was just a light touch. Little bit in the hitting facility, no hitting on the field, just so guys weren't running around shagging the whole time on their feet. So I want to give them like 2.5 days off, but good energy yesterday, good focus when we were doing our light defensive work. All around, just you get to stand a little bit taller when you had a couple days off. In season, mandatory 1 day off, and I don't think it really sets in that today is an off day, and so usually when you get that second one, it sinks in and you can actually get some quality sleep. Usually on a normal off day, you're like, hey, don't sleep through my alarm, got to be up for weights, got to be up for the game or whatever, and so you never really let your guard down. So I think, based on the quantity of pictures I saw from guys catching fish yesterday or going frolfing or whatever else they had probably told you they've already been doing, it was great to see that, and a little bit of jealousy set in when I saw how big the fish was Turley laid into, and Arquette caught his first bass as well. Although what he said, how big it was, the fish stories are always different.
I heard he had some trouble. Bubby was saying he had some trouble, Iva.
I wasn't there to witness it. There's no doubt. Sometimes trying to grab the lip for the first time might be a little different. So I was hoping someone got it on video, but unfortunately we didn't see that. I just saw from his face telling the story that he wasn't a huge fan of grabbing the bass by the lip. So we'll see.
So are you on the record saying you're concerned about Arquette? Can we write that?
Get out of here.
Speaking on Iva's performance, how has his performance affected the team dynamics, and what does his presence bring to a playoff push?
Well, I mean, it's loud. Everything he does is amazing, right? 5-tool player that can do anything on the field, and I think that's where everyone's we obviously get to see that, and our expectations every time he takes the field is nothing short of immaculate, and his expectations for himself as well. But again, I always go back to what he does for the other guys. He plays with incredible enthusiasm. He plays with passion. He's excited for everyone else's success. I asked him one time, we were sitting in the hitting facility, I said, hey, how you liking it, man? What do you think so far? Playing shortstop every day? And he goes, and he stopped me before I went any further. He goes, this is amazing. And he goes, I get to play for this program at shortstop every single day, to be here. And he kept going, which is exciting, to hear how enthused he was of being here and owning his role. It's great. He motivates other guys. He finds ways to get them out and go jump in the river. He showed guys around when we were out in Hawaii and made sure they were eating the right foods. He gives to other people on a different level. And you can see how he interacts with his family when we were back home, or when they were coming to watch us on the road, or even just watching him get on the bus after the games in Hawaii, and he had so many lays around his neck. I mean, he couldn't move his head, and so he's got a special presence around him, whatever he does. And I mean, he's always smiling, and he's always working, and he's always just caring about others, which is amazing.
When we talked to Gavin about his last games coming up here, he got kind of emotional. Pretty emotional, I would say. Have you seen that?
Wasn't the sun?
No, it was not. It was not. Have you seen that from him? And why do you think that? What do you think that
We all know how emotional he is about this place, how special it is to him. I mean, he could have gone anywhere in the country, and he chose to come here. And that now, in today's day and age, that can happen every year. You can always find it to go somewhere else. But Gavin has put his heart and soul into this place, and he's been doing it since, at the beginning of his high school career, knowing he was going to come here, to step away from the draft as a high schooler, and to put his time in here to be the first guy to advocate, hey, if we have recruits coming in, I want to get to know them and show them around, to just be an advocate of this program in every way, shape, or form. And he's made the most out of being. I mean, shoot, he's flying over the field in an airplane, getting his pilot license. We put a piano in the players' lounge so that he can perform. Quite a beautiful pianist, by the way, just going at it in there. And I'll be sitting in there in the chair, and he'll be over there playing. I remember him and Darwin one time were in there playing on the piano, and it kind of put me to sleep. It was nice. It was relaxing. But he's given so much to this place. Like, I could see easily how emotional he could have if knowing, man, like, you could see the end of your time here as a player. But I mean, Gavin's the kind of guy that his banners are going to be sitting behind home. His picture's going to be all over the place too, forever. He is a Beaver legend, and he hasn't even finished his time here. Much like the impact, and he was here with Bazana as well, the impact Travis had on this place and left on this place, and so many others. Our alumni are incredible, and it's made of people like Gavin, who gave everything they had when they were here, continue to develop, and that they're going to continue to pour into this place. Like, that's the cool part about this place too, is when you go around, you see Jacoby Ellsbury locker room or Darwin Barney alumni room, and you're seeing a lot of the people who were a big part of this place continue to carry on the tradition here. And so, I mean, it's going to be emotional. I don't jump into all those hugs too often, but I know, like, for a guy like him that's going to be done and have to take off the jersey for the last time, it is going to be emotional. But let's go ahead and give another 10 plus games or whatever it takes, so that he can keep wearing that, and the other guys too.
What do you think the key has been to Wilson's last 20 days or so, and what has it been like for you to watch what he's been doing out there on the plate?
Just the progression of who he is as a man, becoming comfortable and confident. Like, he's always had the ability in him, and now he's not looking over his shoulder or hey, what if I don't perform? Am I not going to get out there? He just kind of pushed all that other stuff aside and focused on the guy on the mound, his teammates, taking care of his body. He's always done a great job taking care of his body and his rest and making sure that the schoolwork's done. I mean, shoot, he's got like a 3.65 from his entire time here at Oregon State. So he handles all the little things. I mean, this is a guy that, when he leaves here, you can say, that's a man right there. He's going to be great in whatever he does in life. He's going to be a great husband. He's going to be a great father. He's going to do like anything and everything. You can call him whenever you need him, and he's going to show up and find a way to help out. But it's awesome to hear people talk about him. Like, man, that's a physical looking dude. I go, yeah. But wait till you get to know him and his personality and just how fun he is to be around. And again, another one who just cares about everybody else around him. And it gets us out of our own way when we're focused on others. And Webb's, it's just been incredible to watch the consistency of his work, his want to be coached, and his confidence really flourish behind the plate and in the box.
Kind of on a similar note, as a former catcher yourself, what's it like having a senior behind the dish like that you can just count on to catch every game for you? Yeah,
well, first, like, having a catcher who didn't have as many pass balls as I did, who actually stops the baseball and is outstanding. But he controls a lot of the run game too, because of his arm, because of like his transfer and all that, how accurate he plays catch. And to have a guy who loves this place, that's part of the trust that comes into it. When a guy has put in this much time into this program, he's going to be making every decision for the good of this place. And so there's a ton of confidence goes to it. I mean, the other day, he's sitting behind the dish, and every now and then we'll chime in on the little walkie-talkie to his earpiece, and it might be like a pitch suggestion or what we see from a hitter who's in the box or scoot up or whatever. And the only other thing I had to say, like, this is like, it was a good feeling, is like, hey, happy birthday, by the way, happy birthday. And he goes, that's it? And I was like, yeah, that's it, man, go get him, you got this. And so that he prepares really well, he communicates with the guys, so it's almost like allows me to sleep a little bit more at night, knowing that there's a guy like that out there running the field. Strong leader.
He didn't get a lot of days off in the dish this year. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but like there can't have been that many catchers who caught more games than he did this year. And then obviously he's been handling his business at the plate the last month. Like that position as well as anybody. Like, what are the little things he's doing to be able to do that and take care of his body?
If I'm going into the training room when we're on the road, he's one of the guys that's always in there with Jeremy, like, got the ice boots on or whatever those things are, the compression deals that helps their legs feel better.
I like ice boots.
Ice boots?
Let's go with ice
Yeah,
boots.
let's go with ice boots.
Yeah, whatever all the stuff is they have now, he uses it, which is great.
Science.
We had ibuprofen.
Still do.
You be playing. And so the way he takes care of his body, the way he eats too. I mean, you can see he's just a physical specimen, right? He's always been that big, strong guy. He doesn't neglect his time in the weight room, which I think if you're going to stay on top of your game, you got to do that as well. Sometimes you think, well, I don't want to get banged up by working out in the weight room. No. It's the opposite. You get in there, you push yourself, and it takes better care of your body. It keeps you sharp mentally too. So, I don't know. It's yeah, you should catch every day. We have a couple off days throughout the week, and yeah, we do travel. But he also wants to go on and play professionally, and you're going to be doing a lot more of that, even more so than what we did, this year, for a season that's 2 times, almost 3 times longer with spring training and everything else. So, I think he's been smart between innings, how he throws the ball around. Before, he would rip that thing around as hard as he possibly could. I'm like, hey, conserve a little bit of those bullets for later on. And then even his work at practice and pregame, just getting touches to make sure that he's still, ready to block a baseball, or working on his transfers or his glove work. The same thing in the cage. You can burn out by trying to do too much. And I think he's really found some good balance to make sure he's ready to go play. And other guys go, after a night game, the day game, catchers shouldn't play that game. Yeah, right. I could tell you, I wanted to play every stinking game possible. And when it's game time, especially here at Goss, you're not letting any bit of fatigue get in the way. And someone would have to pry me out of the lineup. I know if I don't put him in the lineup, he's probably going to come in my office and want to have words, which is good. That's what you want from guys, right? No, he wouldn't do that.
In his exit interview last year, when you're trying to decide, you got Tanner, you got him, and all that stuff, and it could go either way. What gave you faith at that moment in what you had seen in him to say, no, this is your job if you stay?
No, I mean, that guy right up the road from Barlow High School, right? He's bled this place, and no different than Tanner. Tanner put a lot of passion into this place as well. And it's just from conversations that were going throughout the year, what's it look like? And we didn't even know if, even after we parted ways with Tanner, didn't know if Webby was going to still be here from the draft. Was he going to get drafted? Was he going to sign as a free agent? Was he going to come back? So there's still a lot of unknowns into that, but you pray on it. You just continue to communicate. You always know that you're gonna have to recruit and be prepared for any situation that comes up. And it wasn't an easy decision for him too, of, well, what if I don't sign with the team right now and I come back? What if I don't perform? Could this all be it? But those are some of the things we have to face. What if you sign and then you missed out on a year of college? And what if you end up getting hurt there? What if you get hurt? There's all these ifs, and so he knows how much he loves this place and what he's capable of doing. He said, dude, come in and run it. This could be yours. If you do the job, I'd be silly not to play you every day. So a lot of times the only thing that gets in our way is ourselves. right? It's not anyone trying to hold us down, and even if they did, they're not strong enough to do so, especially for that kid. And so since day one, it was kind of executing a plan. Hey, if you come back, this is what needs to happen. This is what needs to happen with our training. This is what needs to happen with communication. And that was the big part of it was like pushing forward, communicating with the players. Yeah, be an advocate for your teammates. Be the captain who comes in and communicates what do we need as a team that you see that we maybe aren't seeing.
To you guys?
Us as coaches, or even in the clubhouse, be an accountability partner. Before it was just a little quieter, a little difficulty opening up and sharing with the group, but I haven't seen a lot of that this year. He comes in. I mean, he's a big caveman, right? You just gotta know. You gotta be able to speak caveman.
With the young catchers behind him and a mostly young pitching staff, how much help has he been just behind the dish, helping get those guys through a year and bring them along?
Yeah, that goes a long ways. Having an older guy catching you, giving you feedback. I mean, I remember coming out in the fall, and Weber's sitting over here with a notepad interviewing, some of our young guys. And then when one guy was done, then another guy would come sit down. And I was like, therapy sessions? You take coaches as well? Can I sit down and vent a little bit?
I think they're venting about you. They didn't want you there.
They did get quiet when I walked by and act like nothing was going on, and then I left and they started talking again. No, those kind of things help out a ton, and I think that was the message to be relayed with Webb early on. Like, this is why it's needed, and even reiterating, like, do you see how much success a lot of those guys are having? It's also because of the guy behind the dish and what you're doing right now. They feel confident when they have a 2-strike count or 1-2 and there's a guy on third. You know where that pitch needs to be, and it's below the zone, and they have to have confidence that you're going to stop it for them. Or are they so focused on the runner because they might steal a bag because I don't know if my catcher can play catch or not? They know you can. They know that you neutralize a running game because of his arm strength, because of his work ethic and awareness of what's going on. And it also makes everyone feel a lot better when he's driving the ball over or out of the park. And so when you have a lead, it usually takes a lot of pressure off of some of the arms as well. So, he's doing it on every level. And when he got, National Player of the Week, I don't think anyone was surprised there. It's a scary place to play if you're a third baseman or anywhere on the left side. And really what he's doing now to be someone sitting in right center, because he's driving the heck out of it that way as well. So pretty remarkable what he's done, and I'm confident to know that, like I said, he's going to be successful whatever he does, but he's also got a great career ahead of him post this, but I know he wants to finish on a high point here, no doubt.
To move off of Webby to end this,
we'd keep going about Webby. I ain't talking about that.
I don't know much. With the bullpen, this whole year you've kind of had a lot of different guys in high leverage situations. Yeah. Is that something at this point in the season you're still comfortable with that plan? How do you evaluate where those guys are at as we get to these high stakes situations? Yeah,
good to have a lot of guys in those situations, so then you have an idea of what to expect when you put them in. And the nice thing is we've had a lot of success, like opening up and letting a lot of guys try different roles too. We didn't keyhole ourselves necessarily saying these are the guys that are going to go do it. I mean, we should be hosting a regional and a super regional here after the next week. Hopefully that news does break, for in our favor for what we've done. But how are you ever going to learn what these guys can do? Especially a lot of youth, freshmen, sophomores, to get a chance to go out and run those kind of situations. And you could talk to a lot of guys that first time coming out of the bullpen and running across the field and seeing the fans, especially at Goss or on the road. And you're coming in, you're getting a baseball, and you're like, oh, there's a guy on third, second, and it's a 1-run ball game, and I have no outs. Let's see how this works. To be able to practice in difficult enough situations, put that pressure on yourself so that all you see is, the catcher and your guys behind you. It's like in games, I rarely ever do I hear fans. Do I really recognize how big the crowd is or anything like that. I have to consciously do that because my focus is being in that arena so many times is what are my guys doing and how are they doing? Trying to pay attention to small things, not get distracted. And so I want that from our guys as well. In that moment of when they decide what plan am I going to go execute, I want them to commit to that plan. And a lot of that is just getting rid of the noise, whatever that may be, count, scoreboard, past failures or success, future worries, whatever. And so the more we can put our guys through a lot of those different scenarios, the better we feel as a whole. And I do think that we have a ton of guys that can come in and get big outs. We've learned with this sample size too that Wyatt Queen's got a pretty stinking good slider. Leif Palmer has a fastball that gets by a lot of guys because it's a 7-foot extension deal and it's got some pretty heavy ride to it. James DeCramer has a sharp slider and a changeup that he can throw in any count. We all know Joey Munt's got the big time gyro breaking ball that he gets a ton of whiff on. Kellen Oaks, Segura, like Keljo, a lot of arms, a lot of capabilities there, and obviously like Hutch is taking the ball. This is like really cool. A guy like Hutchison, who's as a freshman took the ball 26 appearances, then his sophomore year took it 22 or 24 appearances, and again taking the ball over and over and over, throwing strikes. Like guys are gonna have a rough day here and there, but like looking at the big picture, what these guys have been able to do, that's what we're here to do, is win games, grow together, in more ways than just on the field. And I think we're doing that. I know we're doing that. So I mean, these guys are going to be fresh, and everyone's going to get some innings this weekend. Everyone's going to get at bats. I think we're going to go 7 innings, 6 innings, and 6 innings Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sandlot movie's going to be playing for the kids after it. Home Run Derby one day. Might have a special guest. A little fun, a little give back. We didn't have a ton of home games to this point, but we've earned some post-game home games, or postseason home games, and then so we thought it would be great to still get our work in and give back to our fans since we knew we weren't going to be around for a little bit of fun if they want to come join.